I filmed a video yesterday and edited as quickly as possible as usual. Then when I clicked upload, the market instantly tanked. What the hell? It couldn't just be a coincidence. What have I done?
That was an oldie, but a goodie. I kind of knew when CMC yesterday was showing Bitcoin in the red. That's a pretty bad time to record. After all, when was the last time Bitcoin was red and didn't move drastically? Or green, actually. Bitcoin has no chill at the moment. But of course, this is good for Bitcoin. Me to me, $13,000 Bitcoin. Should have bought more sub 10K, 9.5K. Wait for 8,500. Newcomers, July. Is this a bear market? I do want to go over two things from yesterday's video. Now, trend lines get broken all the time. I realize I'm swapping between cameras quite a lot here, but let's just go with it. More often than not, they will first test the line, then if it goes through, break it, and we'd have a quick drop. Well, it happened again, especially if you had drawn the trend line to look a little bit like that. Boy, did we crash through it quickly. We are now in a period exactly like the first three occasions where Bitcoin was trading below the 10 and 20 day EMA where they had just crossed. There is still about that much time for the pattern not to be broken, so still theoretically possible, just looking unlikely at this stage. Because even though there were downward trends before the next Bitcoin rally, this one is far more pronounced. Still entirely possible, just Bitcoin's being very lazy right now. So what am I doing? How am I preparing for this? How am I adapting to the situation? I think that's an interesting question. I didn't actually plan to show this, but when was the last time I sold Bitcoin? I am trying to work on being more transparent with you all. I always struggle to stick to a script, always end up blurting out loads of stuff I never intended to when the cameras are on. It's kind of weird, but it works for me. So I've got this confirmation email from Coinbase. This was on July 10th. Withdrawal £10,279, which in USD is probably just under $13,000. And I can show you, I probably don't want to show all of this history. Let me just show the more specific bit. This was me selling one Bitcoin back then. So that was July 10th. So on the charts, me selling at 13,000 around there. Anyway, I know this isn't actually very useful information post-mortem. You can't copy that trade now. I am just far more comfortable with basically sharing where I buy, not where I sell. I always struggle, or at least it doesn't feel as appropriate to almost encourage people to part with their Bitcoin. I'm just uncomfortable with that. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with it being the best performing asset of a generation. Possibly. So I don't actually plan to sell any more at this stage. I feel like I sold enough. Could be a wrong decision. Maybe I should be selling more, but personally, I'm happy with holding what I have right now, but important in crypto to always be ready to adapt to the changing situation, so I'll keep an eye on it. Another thing I wanted to touch on from yesterday's video, and we'd have a quick drop. It happens again and again and again and possibly again. Someone yesterday saw the title of the video, commented, "You should probably delete this." No, I should not. Anyway, do I still see $8,000 region being tested? Yes, the short-term trend is most definitely downward. There is very little trading activity between 10,400 and where we're at, maybe a little bit lower. So hey, Tether printer, if you just want to kick things up a little bit, start printing maybe a couple, I don't know, a few tens of millions will probably do it. We could probably get back up to this trend line quite easily. Just saying, maybe their printer's just having a little bit of an issue right now.
On my own, I'm just stuck in my thoughts. Nothing can save me. You got the wrong road.
Damn it, Harold. Which is where I buy, depending on what is happening on the day. Is there any particular reason why Bitcoin should start going up from 8,000? Yes and no. The thing is, this drop down, it's kind of hard to not argue it wasn't at least in part helped by the US government. I am, of course, referring to the Trump tweet and the Secretary of Treasury, Stephen Mnuchin, an investment banker, calling cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin a national security issue. Might be a slight conflict of interest there. And hopefully the negative press is now over. Hopefully. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. These things just come out of nowhere. But we've had a decent pullback already down to these levels. And it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin wants to go up. That's just what it does. Pattern could still repeat, but let's see if the market agrees with me. Bitcoin longs versus shorts. Basically, the amount of people betting on whether Bitcoin is going to go up or down from here. Majority long. This is Bitfinex and BitMEX, by the way. Super majority long on Ethereum. That's interesting. That's not actually a good sign. Easy money making in crypto for a whale basically means messing with people on these platforms. Imagine you are counter trading at BitMEX, which I am sure happens. Lots of people on your platform want the price to go up. You trade it down, they all get liquidated, you get to keep their Bitcoin. It's a win-win-win for you, a loss for everyone else. Rinse and repeat. They really actually don't care about keeping you as a customer. They'll just get new ones anyway. They're quite aware of this fact. It's called churn and burn within the industry and is a genuine business strategy.
We're back, sucking.
Majority short is actually much better for a majority of reasons, but also because it doesn't require insider information almost for the most part. You just move the markets up, trigger short squeezes. I've talked about this quite a lot. It's good for Bitcoin. Obviously. Not good for traders who get surprised by it, of course. Now, actually, a third thing I wanted to touch from yesterday's video.
I'm never wrong. I thought I was wrong one time, but I was wrong.
No, not that. Although that is genuinely hilarious. And I'm starting to wonder if this won't actually change until this changes, aka fresh retail investors getting caught in FOMO for projects that are overhyped, overpromising, and under-delivering. Mainly because, and this is why I say this, everyone who is currently left in crypto from 2017 either didn't get caught up in the altcoin boom cycle, sold at the right time, or got massively burned. This is a really good tool to visualize it. So Bitcoin only needs 110% gains from here to reach its all-time high again. Ethereum needs 640. XRP and Bitcoin Cash over 1,000% needed. Cardano 2.2 thousand. Yeah, that's a really bad offender. NEM with 3,000. Zcash 4,600. So you could look at this two ways. Number one, some of these coins have very high potential returns because they're so low as compared to where they were. Or number two, wow, so many people not just got burned, but absolutely incinerated by these coins and have potentially learned a very painful lesson. I gotta say, the way people are looking at that right now definitely feels like the latter. Now, in a somewhat related joke, I found a new game. It's called Transaction Highway, developed by Bitcoin Cash developers back in the day to demonstrate the power of bigger blocks. Now it is more accurately turned into Spot the Bitcoin Cash transaction. So at the bottom here we have Bitcoin transactions and we just wait to find a Bitcoin Cash one. Just give it a sec. There it is. There it is too. Oh, we were lucky. It's a bit like fishing. Anyway, in the news generally, Facebook's Libra cryptocurrency attacked at Senate hearing. All this week, I believe, there are hearings being conducted about whether or not this should go ahead by the US authorities. And yeah, we'd be crazy to give them a chance to let them experiment with people's bank accounts. He thought it was delusional. Other senators shared his concerns. I don't trust you guys. Yeah, okay. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to go through, but they're having a really hard time. If it does have any further implications for cryptocurrency as a whole, I'm going to wait until something actually happens, a further development, before I cover the story again. Anyway, thanks for watching. The tree is right here because I couldn't actually fit it on the desk over there, so it's right in front of me. I presume it looks fine. Yeah, it probably does. Anyway, I'll see you later.